That's a really good question. I mean, for me, I don't think the concepts are mutually exclusive, and Mayor Fulop and I have talked about that because he said it and said it best, and that is you have to do enough to create a place of destination. You have to draw people to a place. So you have to create critical mass, and then the evolution of that development becomes mixed-use elements, so that you have to build live, work, play. It has to be accompanied by retail and office, and then you create your own demand that ensures that you don't get that kind of bubble as you continually create demand to match the pace of your supply.
One of the things I touched on earlier, the first introductory said that I said that being socially conscious and economic development are not mutually exclusive. And that's not only something that I philosophically believe in, but I think that it also creates texture and diversity in a community that's really important to creating a place that people want to live in. If you think about the cities that are most interesting in the world, they have diversity of income, of restaurants, of types of places, of all sorts of backgrounds. So everything we do in Jersey City from a policy standpoint is really to approach that. You know, I touched on earlier a lot of the economic stimulus stuff, but also on the social side, I mean, we are very much at the forefront of affordable housing. We are very much at the forefront of prevailing wage, making sure that when people come and they work through our redevelopment agency, that they are treating their workers, whether on the construction sites or the service people subsequent, in a fair and responsible way. We are very much making sure that the mom and pop restaurants and businesses that created the texture in a community over the last 20, 30 years when nobody wanted to be in Jersey City are protected in many ways for the reason that that's really what creates Jersey City as a sense of place long term, and I'm very, very aware of it. So all of our policies are really geared towards that ultimately.
I think there's some value in the definition of capacity, though. I mean, the question was why go slow here and why go fast there, and I think that it depends on the capacity of the municipality that you happen to be looking at, and Mayor Turner alluded to that earlier, saying, you know, for the smaller municipalities, go a little slower, and as Carl said, we time our developments in Port Imperial to come on so that we don't flood ourselves. And that we have a chance to see what the markets are doing, and then we have a chance to absorb everything in a rational and meaningful way, especially if you look at the context of we've gone ahead and gotten these incentives called pilots, which are revenues to the towns based on percentage of revenue generated by the asset. It doesn't do the town any good for us to go faster in an area that can't absorb it and therefore keep the revenues down. So you know, there's a balance of mixing use, there's a balance of providing amenities, and there's a balance of the timing of bringing product in, all based on what the capacity of that particular municipality can support.
And if I could just add, you know, back to your original question of residential versus commercial office, when this process first started in North Hudson 30 years ago, even with Hoboken, everybody thought there'd be more commercial and more office. But the market wasn't there, and the Jersey City market was there for that. So as all the industrial base died off in North Hudson and the factories became condos and apartments, the waterfront became an extension of that. And most of North Hudson now are residential communities, with a few exceptions, a little bit in Hoboken, a little bit in Weehawken. And I got to add also, this is the first time I ever heard that they have a 14-month cycle, because they're always on my butt to do something faster. I'm amazed at that one.